Hello, and welcome to the Administering the Idaho Alternate Assessment training video for the Spring 2021 Test Administration. My name is Karen Striegel, and I am the Special Education Coordinator for Alternate Assessment, Low Incidence Disabilities, and Medicaid School-Based Services. The purpose of this training video is to demonstrate how to administer the different types of items found on the Idaho Alternate Assessment using the human voice recordings so that you will be prepared to individually administer the test to your qualifying students. Everything I cover in this video is found in the 2020-2021 Online Summative Test Administration Manual, affectionately called the TAM. This year we have combined the ISAT and Idaho Alternate Assessment TAMs into one TAM to rule them all. You can download the one TAM from the ISAT portal. I will focus on the actual test administration scripts detailed in Appendix L of the TAM, located on pages 98 through 108. If you don't already have it on hand, I suggest you pause the video at this point to download the TAM. It is important to understand that one purpose of this training video is to supplement the content contained in the TAM. However, it should not serve as a substitute for reading the TAM. You should read and be familiar with all the information in the TAM before administering the Idaho Alternate Assessment to any student. Before I go any further, I should explain what is not included in this training video. I will not be covering any of the policies and procedures that the Idaho Alternate Assessment has in common with the ISAT. For example, entering or changing student test settings in TIDE, managing test settings, helping students log into the secure test browser, etc. All of these topics are explained in the 2020-2021 Online Summative Test Administration Manual. You will find quick guides for many of these functions on the ISAT portal. You should work with your district or school test coordinator if you need additional support. Let me show you where to find training materials and quick guides on the ISAT portal. Before I show you where to find training materials and quick guides, I want to show you where to find contact information for the Idaho Help Desk. From the ISAT portal homepage, notice the third teal card labeled Contact Us. Here's all the information you need to contact the Idaho Help Desk, including their email address, telephone number, and fax number. The people who manage the Idaho Help Desk work for Cambium Assessment, our test vendor. They are specially trained to support staff administering the ISAT and the Idaho Alternate Assessment. Be sure you have all the information listed here before you contact them so they will be equipped to help you quickly. You should never send student names by email. Now back to finding training materials and quick guides. Hover over the Resources tab in the teal bar at the top of the page. This teal bar appears on almost every other page of the ISAT portal, so you don't have to return to the home page to find it. You want to click Trainings and System Guides. Notice how the Training and System Guides resource is organized into three main topics. I also want you to notice how the left-hand column looks like a table of contents, or everything listed under the Resources drop-down menu. Each folder in this table of contents expands to give you a quick link to all the resources. Since I have clicked the Training and System Guides resource, you can see the three topics expanded in the table of contents and displayed on the main part of the page. I don't have time to show you everything here, but let me call your attention to three essential resources. The Preparing for Testing folder contains the TIDE Quick Guide, Adding Users and Students, and the TIDE User Guide. You may need these two documents depending on who in your school is responsible for managing student test settings in TIDE. The other resource you may need is the Test Administrator Quick Guide. It is located in the Resources for Test Administration folder. Click the link to the Resources for Test Administration folder. If you will be managing test sessions as well as administering the Idaho Alternate Assessment to your qualifying students, you will need the Test Administrator Quick Guide. I will leave it to you to explore the remaining training materials for yourself. Your district or school test coordinator should have some insight into where training materials and quick guides are located if you can't find them easily on your own. In addition to the ISAT-related information not covered in this video, I will not be covering content addressed in any of the other Idaho Alternate Assessment training videos either. This includes the Learner Characteristics Inventory, Idaho Alternate Assessment Accessibility Features, the Student Response Check, and the Early Stopping Rule. Let me show you where to find these training videos on the Idaho State Department of Education webpage. From the Idaho State Department of Education homepage, scroll down to find the lavender Assessment and Accountability card. From the Assessment and Accountability homepage, scroll down to find the light green Special Education and Alternate card. Once you land on the Special Education and Alternate Assessments page, scroll down until you see the Files, FAQs, Training, and Links tabs. Click the Training tab. You can see a link to the IDAA Participation Criteria training on the Idaho Training Clearinghouse. This link has been here for a while. Notice links to the IDAA Accessibility Features and Learner Characteristics Inventory training videos. The training video for the Student Response Check and the Early Stopping Rule was not posted as of the recording of this video. If it is not posted when you go looking for it, it will be posted very soon. Now back to the main topic. When you administer the Idaho Alternate Assessment to qualifying students, you should carefully follow the guidelines provided in Appendix L, IDAA Test Administration Script. I will not cover everything outlined in Appendix L, but I want to highlight a few things. First of all the directions you need to read to students are indicated by the word "say" and are highlighted in blue boxes so they stand out from the regular text. There are 4 ways students may interact with the human voice recordings in the Secure Test Browser, depending on their individual needs. Number 1, the student independently clicks the ear icon to activate the human voice recording. 2, the teacher provides a visual prompt, such as pointing to the ear icon, for the student to activate the human voice recording. 3, the teacher physically assists the student to control the mouse and click on the ear icon to activate the human voice recording, or the teacher activates the human voice recording for the student. The human voice recordings may be replayed up to 3 times as needed for the student to access test content. If a student needs human voice recordings played more than 3 times, then pause the test and resume at a later time. In the following video clips, I will model how to administer the 3 types of test items using the scripts found in Appendix L of the TAM. The test items you will see come from the Alternate Assessment practice tests available on the ISAT portal. I will model an elementary ELA item with a passage for a student who needs a visual prompt to activate the human voice recording. I will model an item with a middle school science item with a stimulus for a student who needs physical assistance to activate the human voice recordings. And I will model an elementary math standalone item for a student who needs the teacher to activate the human voice recordings for them. As I said a moment ago, this item, with its passage, comes from the elementary ELA practice test. I will model administering this item as if my student needs a visual prompt to activate the human voice recording. Don't forget to play all of the human voice recordings before the student chooses a response. Here we go. Look here. Click the ear icon to listen to the reading passage.
The shopping trip. Joey had cereal for breakfast. His mom poured the last of the milk on his cereal. Mom threw out the empty milk container. After breakfast, Mom told Joey they would have to go to the store to buy more milk. Next, Mom checked to see if she had enough money in her purse. Then, Mom got out the car keys.
Look here. Click the ear icon to listen to the question.
Why did they use up all the milk?
Look here. Click the ear icon to listen to answer choice A.
Mom gave it to the cat.
Look here. Click the ear icon to listen to answer choice B.
Mom spilled it on the table.
Look here. Click the ear icon to listen to answer choice C.
Mom poured it on Joey's cereal.
Choose your answer. Wait for the student to click their answer or otherwise indicate their answer choice so you, as the scribe, can click the answer for them. Are you ready for the next question? Click the next button right here. You can see that this next item is associated with the same passage. When there are multiple items with the same reading passage, you may ask the student if they want to hear the reading passage again or automatically play it again. This item, with its stimulus, comes from the middle school science practice test. Notice the illustration in the stimulus. The human voice recording will describe the illustration to the student. Also notice that this item has 4 response options. Students may encounter items with 4 response options as illustrated here. However, most of the items that students will encounter will have 3 response options. Items with a lower complexity level will have 2 response options. I will model administering this item as if my student needs physical assistance to activate the human voice recording. When administering this item to students who need physical assistance to play the human voice recordings, I would speak the prompt, then assist the student to click the ear icon using hand-over-hand assistance. We will click the ear icon together so you can listen to the first part.
Here's a model of the water cycle. Runoff moves water from the ground to the ocean. Evaporation moves water from the ocean into the sky. Condensation changes water vapor into clouds. Precipitation moves water from the clouds to the ground.
We will click the ear icon together so you can listen to the question.
Which force makes precipitation fall from the clouds?
We will click the ear icon together so you can listen to answer choice 1.
Electricity.
We will click the ear icon together so you can listen to answer choice B.
Friction.
We will click the ear icon so you can listen to answer choice C.
Gravity.
We will click the ear icon so you can listen to answer choice D.
Magnetism.
Choose your answer. Wait for the student to indicate their answer choice so you, as the scribe, can click the answer for them. Are you ready to go on to the next question? We will click the next button together. Notice that the next science item is not associated with the previous stimulus. This standalone item comes from the elementary math practice test. I will model administering this item as if my student needs me to activate the human voice recording. Listen while I play the question.
Here is a clock. The short hand is pointing in the middle of 2 and 3. The long hand is pointing to 6. What time does the clock show?
Listen while I play answer choice A.
2:30.
Listen while I play answer choice B.
3:30.
Listen while I play answer choice C.
6:10.
Choose your answer. Wait for the student to indicate their answer choice so you, as the scribe, can click their answer for them. Are you ready for the next question? Students who have an IEP paper test accommodation or something similar, will take the Idaho Alternate Assessment fixed form with printed response option cards. As I discussed in the Idaho Alternate Assessment Accessibility Features training video, students taking this test form will access test content using the human voice recordings in the secure test browser, in the same way they would if they were taking the regular Idaho Alternate Assessment. The difference is that the teacher will present the printed response option cards to the student as the human voice recording for each response option is played. Once the student chooses a response, the teacher will click the student's response in the secure test browser. As I said, the teacher will present the printed response option cards to the student as the human voice recording for each response option is played. Teachers should present the printed response option cards in a way that mirrors how the student communicates during instruction. For example, the teacher may place the printed response option cards on the table in front of the student. The teacher may attach the cards to the student's picture exchange type communication system. The teacher may place the cards on a student's eye gaze frame. Or the teacher may present the cards using some other communication system that the student uses during instruction. The printed response option cards must be presented in the same order as the response options appear on the screen, although the cards may be arranged in different configurations. Let me show you what I mean. In most cases, response options in the secure test browser are displayed horizontally. Therefore, the teacher would usually display the printed response option cards horizontally from left to right. Option A, Option B, Option C. However, if a student responds better to having communication cards displayed vertically, then the teacher would display the printed response option cards from top to bottom. Option A, Option B, Option C. Think about an eye gaze frame. The teacher may present the printed response option cards at the top and sides of the frame in a clockwise pattern. Option A, Option B, Option C. Now, you may encounter technical issues when administering the Idaho Alternate Assessment. The most common issue is that the Idaho Alternate Assessments do not appear on the list of available tests when a student logs into the secure test browser. In other words, the only available tests are ISATs. There are two main reasons for this problem. Either the teacher did not complete the learner characteristics inventory, or the special education and alternate assessment flags in TIDE have not been set to yes. These are easily fixed, and you can accomplish them on your own or with the help of your district or school test coordinator. If you have other issues when administering the test, please contact your district or school test coordinator, your district or school technology staff, or the Idaho Help Desk. Remember, click the Contact Us card on the right-hand side of the ISAT portal homepage to find the Idaho Help Desk contact information. I have a few reminders to share before I close this video. There is a lot more to administering the Idaho Alternate Assessment than what is contained in this video, so be sure to read and be familiar with the Test Administration Manual. You should work closely with your district or school test coordinator. They are there to support you. Remember to play all of the human voice recordings before a student chooses a response. Take advantage of the flexibilities built into the test, especially testing over multiple test sessions and multiple days. Breaks can be planned into the student's test schedule or taken as the student needs or requests a break. Be sure to study the optimal testing conditions for the Idaho Alternate Assessment described on pages 44 and 45 of the Test Administration Manual. This concludes the Administering the Idaho Alternate Assessment training video. I know some of you will have questions, so I will be hosting a couple of live virtual question and answer sessions in April. I will publish the dates and times in the assessment newsletter. Of course, you can call or email me with your questions as well. Thank you for taking the time to view this training video about administering the Idaho Alternate Assessment. Don't hesitate to contact me when you need support.